Good afternoon, everyone, and greetings from Vienna, Austria, in the shadows of Schonbrunn Palace. Today we are going to go to the Schonbrunn Zoo. This is a zoo I wanted to go to for quite some time. Looks like they have an incredible collection of animals. I go by the legend, that is my wonderful girlfriend Molly, and let's go check out the Schonbrunn Zoo.
It's also in a weird location, being right next to the palace.
Well, this is an incredible treat. That is, of course, a giant panda. This is an animal that's, very endangered. Back home in America, it's only at 4 zoos in the entire country. And today here in Vienna, we get to see one having a nice bamboo dinner. The fun keeps going here. Look at the pose on that koala.
That one is kind of awake. He's moving, but he's away from the camera.
Those are the 2 girls, mother and daughter, and on the other side is the boy.
Oh, awesome!
The male is now having some lunch. An adorable lunch. Oh. Look who's having a snack. The red panda. Oh my goodness, the polar bear's going for a swim. Oh, that's just the best. It's just a beautiful, beautiful animal.
Last time, and then I'm going to picture us.
The water will be freezing though.
Now let's go.
Who's ready for some cuteness? Because the next one is Prairie Dogs. They have a bunch of them. Even this guy standing lookout for all the other Prairie Dogs.
They're really.
They even have a couple of little baby Prairie Dogs. There's a very, very large enclosure.
He's making noises.
For the Humboldt penguins, which are a species native to South America. And they've got a lot of them and a lot of room. I like this guy. Right up close to the people. I'm gonna chill. Making a grand debut coming out of the house is a Wallaby. A species very similar to the kangaroo. Some might say cuter than the kangaroo.
He's smaller.
The giraffe is hanging out with his neck outside the enclosure. Looks like he's playing with some sort of an enrichment feature. The zoo's a really nice indoor giraffe area. This feels very new. And I love it because you can go up to the 2nd floor and look the giraffes sort of eye to eye. That little giraffe there looks like he's about 2 meters tall. He was born about 6 months ago. Right now I'm at the zoo's orangutan enclosure, and man, this is awesome. Look at how many different things that they could climb on. See one orangutan out right there. Here you can see the indoor enclosure for the orangutans. Also very, very, very cool. Look at a big sleepy guy. Molly, I think this might have been the hardest animal in the whole zoo to find.
He's also really cute.
Yeah, it's a Kirk's dyke, a very small species of like deer or antelope. A couple of big old African elephants.
Look how he's
one
eating.
way over there in the distance. This guy is apparently taking his meal to go. They do have an indoor enclosure as well. That was very nice. The outdoor enclosure looks pretty big. I would say compared to other zoos and stuff like that, this is definitely one of the nicer areas of the Schonbrunn Zoo. Very nice for the elephants. Oh, this is fabulous. Look where they put the hay for this elephant. So he's going to reach his trunk outside of the enclosure. One more elephant here getting stuff through the fence.
He has really pretty tusks.
He does. Challenging for him more so than the other one to get his trunk through the fence with dust. There's an African plain style exhibit. There's Bontebok in here. There's Patterson's Eland in here. And there's zebras in here. Including this guy, who's definitely a very young zebra.
He is. He's small.
It was a very successful breeding time here for the Schonbrunn Zoo and their zebras. We're recording on July 15th, and there were 2 baby zebras born last month. One on June 21st and one on June 5th. This one definitely appears to be a bit smaller, so I'm guessing he's the
3-week-old.
3-week-old. But yeah, that's great to see. One final shot of the little tiny baby zebra. So I was able to get up pretty close to it over here. Getting hit with mom's tail, it looks like. Got 3 cheetahs resting ever so peacefully. Getting very up close with a rhino who seems to be enjoying some lunch. So this is a treat. One of the rhinoceroses is splashed around in the water. Having a snooze is the hippopotamus, but there's 2 of them, and it's kind of neat because normally you never get to see the hippopotamus out of the water. Normally it's always in the water, whether it's sleeping or kind of running around. But to see it out of the water is neat.
And you can get super close.
Yeah, and I mean, you get an idea of just how big of an animal a hippopotamus is. The hippopotamus is now swimming around. Clearly the hippopotamus is not mad or angry as they're not wiggling their ears. Looks like we came to Lemur Island at a good time. You can see the trainer has put on the waders and is heading out to feed the lemurs. Looks like they have both ringtails and red ruffs. Oh, that's fantastic. Hopped right on top on the shoulder and then is trying to steal food. Oh, this is great. It is a sleepy time for the sea lions. They do a feeding presentation with these guys once or twice a day. We walked by and it was very, very popular. Also, look at the size of the one in the house. Molly, you and I are lucky enough to go to a lot of zoos. I have never seen this. Today, we're recording this on July 15th, 2022.
Apparently, a seal.
And a South American sea lion was born today here at the Schonbrunn Zoo. That's crazy. We are getting a far-off view of the tiger.
He's awake though.
Not getting overly lucky with the views of tigers today. Looks like it's eating something.
Or licking his paw.
It would appear as though the big male lion definitely wants to go in his night house.
Which you never see them up.
Well,
granted, it is night, like we're getting to dusk.
And it's about 20 minutes before the zoo's going to close. So I think they know that it's about time to go inside. Oh man, also you were very close to a lion. The female definitely wants to go inside. Here you can see my personal favorite animal in the world, the penguin. Looks like they've got a couple different species of penguins with the gentoos on one side of the enclosure, and then the king penguins and the rockhoppers hanging out on the other side.
That's awesome.
Fear not, there is a lot more viewing where you can see the Antarctic penguins. They have a lot of penguins at the zoo. This enclosure goes on for quite a while. The Schonbrunn Zoo does have a lot of Nyalas. I mean, right now in my field of vision, I could see probably 7 or 8. But these guys are the best ones to look at. That species of ape is the white-handed gibbon. Looks very fluffy.
He's looking at you. He says thanks. I am.
Gonna head this way to check out the South American animals. They've got a very nice exhibit here for the South American animals. They have rays, giant anteaters, capybaras, some llama type guys. Can't seem to find the capybaras or the giant anteater, but found this llama type guy. A bit of a bummer because there's a 2-month-old capybara in here somewhere. There's a big rainforest aviary. The most interesting thing to me in here, free-flying bats.
Giant bats.
Yeah, look at the size of that guy.
It's like free gully.
Fern gully, I think that's what you're going for there.
Yes, fern gully.
Climbing up the hill there is a Barbary sheep. And it's a very interesting enclosure as it's home to Barbary sheep and then Barbary macaque monkeys. There we go. There, now you can see one of the monkeys hanging out. The Aldebert tortoise has all this room, but I decided to hang out right here against the glass with the people and then stick his head in that vegetation. He looks like he's having a snack. He's eating that vegetation. Let's check out the Terrarian Aquarian house. This building's very well themed. Home to what looks like an American alligator, I'm not 100% sure.
He's a small one.
I'm hoping that was a nod of agreement.
Yep, definitely.
Definitely one of the smaller ones you'll see. Probably about 6 years old or so, I would guess. I think we found the aquarium part of the Terrarium Aquarium house. You get a nice window view of the zoo's flamingos. I like this aquarium for the horseshoe crab. A couple of very pretty, mesmerizing jellyfish.
He's giant too.
Yeah, and then you've got some a large coral reef style tank. The enclosure for the moon jellies is awesome. And the reason it's awesome is that they've got mirrors on all sides to make this feel like you're in some sort of trippy jellyfish paradise. There's a tank for the red belly piranhas, including like a tube you can crawl into and get very close to them. There's a big walk-through aquarium. Oh, home to a giant fish.
Oh, that is a giant fish.
Look, there's Molly. And there's a giant fish. The Anaconda is the biggest snake in the world.
And he's giant.
I can't even see where he starts or ends.
No.
The bats are incredibly active.
There's also 2 lizards in here, but I don't know where they are.
Pretty cool exhibit here for the Himalayan Tour. Obviously a species native to some rocky areas. And there's a couple of little ones in there, which always makes... Oh, be careful, little guy. And there's a real little one. Let's see if I can get it. Right there. But that one's really, really tiny. I love how close this pelican is. He's right up to the fence, next to the people, scratching his back. All the other pelicans seem to be asleep, but that guy, right up, getting some attention. Time to head inside the Rattenhouse. I'm not sure if I've ever seen this species before. It's a Gambian rat.
Look at his tail.
I know. His body's probably a good foot long, and then his tail, another 1.5 feet.
He's enjoying carrots.
You see a couple of dwarf mongoose hanging out there in the sand, and they're paired up with a hornbill. Of course, this species of hornbill famous for being the inspiration for Zazu from The Lion King. This species of bird is a burrowing parrot.
They're very loud.
They're very loud. See? Loud. This fun species of bird is a southern crested screamer. Look at the size of its feet.
They're really cool with their...
There is an ape house with a whole bunch of monkey exhibits, including these guys, the little squirrel monkeys. Unfortunately, the camera doesn't like these fences. Also in the Ape House, you have one of these guys, the little mustachioed monkey, having a snack.
Intern.
When you're trying to find some animals at the zoo, when in doubt, look up. And that was the case here with the leopard. Looks like there's a farmyard area of the zoo. Home to this giant pig. Now inside of the petting zoo area, there's sheep and goats, and I wanted to come in here because there was a couple of really small little guys. There's a petting zoo area with goats, and I love this. Look at, they have got rabbits. Rabbits are so cool. They've got all sorts of different rabbits. Like, look at this one. He's super fuzzy with little ears. This one over here is super cute with giant ears. And they're all hippity hoppy.
That one's running. Oh, you missed it.
They have a whole bunch of them. Each one's cuter than the next. You know, just when I thought the bunny area couldn't get any better, I found the baby bunny area. Look at how tiny and adorable. Oh my goodness. Look at that one. They have an exhibit for guinea pigs. Kind of weird because this is an animal that in the United States, it's a traditional pet. Here it is at a zoo. I had guinea pigs growing up. I quite enjoyed them. They are very neat. I feel you, buddy. Been a long day at the Schonbrunn Zoo for me. Admission to the Schonbrunn Zoo is about 24 euros. For 8 extra euros, you can get a ticket that has admission to the Palm House, which I believe is a big botanical garden type building.
It's a gorgeous building.
Oh my god, the architecture is fantastic. And it also includes admission into the Desert House, which we'll show you now. So we've scanned our tickets and gone in, and the first one is an interactive feature where the fish, they will come and bite dead skin off your hand. Molly, why don't you give it a try for us?
Oh, okay. I don't know how I feel about this. Oh, they're eating it. Yep, nope, there they go. There they go.
For the camera, can you stick it in a little bit deeper? Fantastic.
It tickles.
It's a weird feeling. A very weird feeling. Oh. This pretty looking little fella here is an armadillo girdled lizard. Look at the armor on him. Got a bunch of stuff going on here. There's a couple of turtles. And if you go into the next enclosure up here, a little tiny desert mouse. He's pretty cute. Not the easiest to see, but underneath the water here in the dark cave is those Tristan Newts. Let's see if we get a little better shot from up there. Yeah, I guess a little bit. Just like being back home in America. Though thankfully, the snakes we have in Florida are not like this guy. This guy, of course, being a black-tailed rattlesnake. It's a rather warm day in Vienna today. So here in this more botanical gardens type area, it is very, very hot. Very, very warm, but a good place if you're a radiated tortoise.
Yeah, they're enjoying it.
In the main section of the Desert House now, and you can tell we're in another one of those old-timey buildings, but the rockwork, wonderful. And you can see some of the animals from a different angle. There's birds in here. I'm not sure if they're free flight birds or ones that just wandered on in. And that is the Desert House. It's neat, but I'm not sure why this costs extra. I feel like this is something that should be included with your zoo admission. If you're coming, I'm not sure if this is worth the extra 8 euros or so. I would say probably not. You'll probably get your fill of animals at the zoo itself. I will say if you've never seen cactuses in that kind of desert environment, then it would be worth your $8.
What's that rat? Mouse.
He's a desert mouse.
Yeah, I know. I corrected myself.
He's cool. Oh, and he's gone. Big aquarium for some fish. Kind of nice. It is a bird spotting guide that doubles as like a bottle refill area. The Schonbrunn Zoo does have pronunciations of the animals' names in both German and English. The polar bear, that's got a great name in German. It's the ice bear.
Oh, he's sitting up there.
Not the best view with the glare, but down there you can see a sleeping white-nosed coati. I'm bummed. They just had like baby coatis about a month or so ago, and they're the most adorable little things, but they're not on exhibit today. The center of the zoo does feel very, very classical. Older exhibits, not super well themed stuff, as well as a nice restaurant. Well, this is wonderful. This looks like kind of like a small kid's ride that you normally see like outside a grocery store. Except it's here at the zoo, and it's a racing ostrich. If you're coming in the main entrance of the zoo, definitely come in the information building because they have information about what to be on the lookout for as far as baby animals go. There are those coatis I told you were really adorable. They're really adorable. And there's other stuff, like they had 4 baby capybaras, a baby reindeer in the Arctic. So we didn't always even get up all the way up there. And I didn't see the baby rockhopper penguins. But good that the zoo has this.
Yeah.
Like if I knew this was a thing, I would come here first. Outside the gift shop, there is a 5-foot tall penguin wearing a fedora. Why, Molly? What time is it?
I think it's beer 30 time.
Beer 30 indeed. Beer's pretty cheap over here in Europe. This Ottakringer Hells, $3.40. And that'll do it for our time at the Schonbrunn Zoo here in Vienna. I loved it. We were there for 4.5 hours and we didn't get to see everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animals to see at this zoo. So we missed out on some good stuff too, like Arctic foxes and reindeer and domestic cows, all sorts of fun stuff. But I had a blast. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. I think you definitely get your 24 euros worth that you pay to get in there. They do an incredible job with their breeding program.
They have so many different types of animals.
Yeah, they do a really good job with guest communication as well, like telling you where the baby animals are, and they tell you all the feeding times on the website.
And on the map.
Yeah, so you get to know, if you want to see some animals that aren't as active, like the koalas, get there at feeding time at 4 p.m., and they were very much enjoying their meal. All right, Molly, here's the tough part. We saw a lot of amazing animals. What was your favorite animal?
Obviously the polar bear. He was swimming, he was walking. We even saw him stand up on his back 2 legs. That was awesome.
I think for me it might be the panda bear. We got to see him eating in different poses, and he looks so happy.
He does. And it's a rare animal to see at a zoo, and at least in America.
Yes, but overall I had a blast. I would say definitely one of the best collections of animals I've seen at any zoo. As far as their enclosures and stuff like that, there weren't too many that I would say like, okay, this is a world-class enclosure. I would say the polar bear and the orangutan enclosures, those were really, really well done. A lot of stuff felt rather traditional,
Yeah.
which I feel like you might need being on these kind of royal palace grounds that they have been in, and you want to keep some historical feel, but it also doesn't feel like, sometimes a super new zoo should feel, or a world-class zoo should feel here in 2022. Like, you probably need larger, more natural-looking enclosures with more enrichment opportunities for the animals.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But that's not a knock. I still had a great time. Just would like to see a little bit more modernization here and there.
And I think it's funny. You said, oh, it's a small zoo. And then we spend 4.5 hours here. So be prepared. It looks really small on a map.
And getting from the front to the back, it's not insane. Like, it's not like walking from the front to the back of the San Diego Zoo.
That is true.
Or Cedar Point or something like that. But it is, you definitely spent a lot of time there. Food looked great too. We didn't eat in the zoo, but man, they had a really good looking sausage stand and a beer garden and like sit down restaurants. So you might want to eat here as well, just make a day out of it. If you got any questions about the Schonbrunn Zoo, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. I think we're gonna go find some beer and some wurst.